This has definitely been a week of two halves, nice and dull and overcast to blazing heat wave within a few days. But what's been really nice to see, the birdsfoot trefoil that we were seeding into the banking is now really started to colonise some big areas now in this meadow. So it's starting to turn back into more of a traditional hay meadow. Welcome back to Andyn Farm. This week I'm going to show you tree shaping and how we shape some of our trees this time of year. We're very excited by what's flowering in the meadow, so I'm going to show you some of the meadow flowers that are looking absolutely stunning. So if you come with me, I'll show you what's been happening this week. Just round the corner here, when you get here, there is a whole sweep of birdsfoot trefoil which is looking absolutely cracking, and it's full of grasshoppers and crickets. I don't know if you can or could have heard that, possibly. Butterflies, bees, absolutely stunning. This field is really starting to come back as a bit of a hay meadow now. It's really doing well. This week we had a problem with a rabbit getting in, although we've got chicken wire buried in the ground all the way around our tree nursery. This week I've had to put a patch in. So speaking of rabbits, at the bottom of the gate here you can see where we've been adding to the chicken wire just to stop them poking through, basically trying to keep them clear of these areas. We've got wild carrot, but this week I've been absolutely enthralled by, this is hedge bedstraw, which is a fantastic white flower. This is smothered in tiny little hoverflies at the moment. I really love this. This has exploded this year. It's been the best year for hedge bedstraw. Very slight perfume to the scent. Absolutely fantastic flower for pollinating insects, and really, really good food for hawk moths. Small hawk moth that loves to eat the foliage as well, which are attracted to it. But this year in the heat in the last week, it's just exploded through this area. And then just coming down in the centre, the first few knapweed or hardheads are just starting to open. Again, this normally wouldn't be till August. It's not just the wildflowers changing at the moment, some of the trees are putting some beautiful fresh growth on too. One of the things I absolutely love with copper beech, which is why we tend to grow so much of it, is the new shoots and the way that the sun shines through the new shoots when the leaves first come through. So almost pink as they're coming at the tips. I really personally love the sunlight through these new shoots when they're coming through, and it really stands out like a different plant almost to me. But the canopy behind us here is purple hazel, Corylus maxima purpurea, and it does produce, and again it's very early, but fantastic purple cobnuts. Okay, so you have to just excuse the cuts on my hand. I did actually slip in the wood the other day and I landed in some brambles. Any work with brambles, definitely wear gloves. And if you can avoid diving into a clump of brambles, that's even better. So gradually over the last few winters we've been lifting and moving individual trees from these lines, which is allowing me to look at each individual tree in detail now and decide what shape I'm going to do. So visually this could just look like one long hedge, but it's not. We will get to lifting and creating space in between it. My aim for this tree line is to create some lovely individual trees with some different shapes. So if you follow me through the rest of the year, when we get to the winter, we'll be lifting some of these so that I'm opening up the space around some of the others so that they get a chance to develop as well. This line of copper beech that I'm stood in now, we've transplanted, they've been transplanted twice, but these have now been in situ for 2 years. So as you can see, with the amount of growth they've put on so far this year, these are now getting desperate for their first trim. The other day I was lucky enough to be able to get in on a cloudy day and do some trimming. One of the things that I've always loved is just creating different shapes of trees. When I was at college in my teens, we were very lucky in that we actually went to Holland and visited the Boskoop region. they used to go up and down on the canal barges, and they'd spend days and days just trimming plants to shape. A lot of it was done then by hand. I still do a lot of it by hand. This is the first trim that I'd started the other week, but it's been that hot and dry we've not been able to do anything. Today's overcast, a lot cooler, and it's just given me a chance to give a few of these a first trim. So these are the trees before I started, and these are the trees at the end here once they've had an initial trim. Hopefully you can see the difference and you can start to see the structure. Every tree is different. So the key thing really is when I look at a tree, I'm always looking for the hidden shape that's within it and what that tree can become. So that's what makes each tree unique and individual. Obviously, Oliver here is not a real owl. He was a present from my daughter. So eventually, that tap will get relocated so it's a bit easier to get to. But what I've had to do because of the temperature is just put our slow drip lines on. Just in passing, we're still in July, and because of the weather this week, these rowan berries didn't have a hint of colour on them last week. Now, these are almost fully ripe. This year has just been absolutely incredible for everything being out of kilter. But the good thing is they are smothered in berries. So this basically is daylily or Hemerochilus gentle shepherd, which is a lovely, lovely white, very pale whitey cream flower. These have actually been flowering for weeks, and all I'm doing is I've just taken off yesterday's flowers, which is going to put more energy into these new buds that are coming and allowing more flowers to come. The reason they're called daylilies is because the flowers only last a day. But they will have lots and lots of flowers. You can see all these lovely new buds that are just coming, which are going to continue to flower for the next few weeks. This week's plant of the week that is looking absolutely stunning now is Agapanthus Blue Triumphator, which have gone from a bud 5 days ago to almost being fully open in flower now, and the bees are going to be absolutely loving these. You can just make out the striation. So inside the flower there, you've got a tiny stripe as it goes down into the centre of the flower. One of the things that I thought I'd try is just to pull out a plant a week that I really like, basically. So to pull a plant a week that I really like, that's looking really good just at this moment. But I can't stand here without then saying Hydrangea arborescens. Again, great big white flower, really tough hardy plant, but again looking absolutely stunning. I was hoping to stand in the shade. This bit's lovely. So I am just going to stand here because it's really nice and cool in the shade. Just coming out of the polytunnel and standing here, it's probably about 20 degrees cooler than it was inside there today. But in closing, I really hope that you've enjoyed just more of a story really around what we've been up to this week, and there's been a few little bits and pieces happening. So if you like what you see, please hit the like button and let us know. If you'd like to see more, then please click subscribe. And if anybody would like any particular gardening content looking at, or any queries, any questions, please put them in the comments and we'll try and come back to you. Thank you very much. Pull through and look at one of the things it's about 65 degrees in here. We'll go down in the shady bit probably if it's still shady.